Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to the entire LDBC and the basketball community. Um, I just wanted to officially say to you guys that we have finally made it over to 600 subscribers. I wanted to thank all the love and support from the LDBC for pushing out the channel, though, man. We making moves out here. I want to particularly thank Mr. Two Raw for TV for subscribing to my channel, though, too, man. He's one of the real OGs of the LDBC and always putting out great content and great perspective on various topics around sports, political news, music, and things of that sort, though, man. And along with other people that are subscribed to my channel, though, too. I want to thank Two Raw for TV for that. Y'all make sure to go subscribe to his channel. But now let's get down to business here, okay? I was thinking about Shaq's response to Draymond Green's claim a couple of days ago, but there's actually a bigger story out there that's actually much more significant than that. Okay, and what I'm talking about is that Shaquille O'Neal has gone on the record yesterday and said that he believes that the season should be scrapped. Okay, um, he believes that the season has already reached the point of no return. And when he was speaking with Mike D. Sykes II for the win on his show, Shaq said that he thinks that the league should abandon any plans for resuming the 2019-2020 season and begin preparation for the next season. So this is what Shaquille O'Neal said, and quote, I think we should scrap the season. Everybody go home, get healthy, and come back next year, O'Neal said. Just scrap the season. Just scrap it. To try to come back now and to rush the playoffs as a player, any team that wins this year, there's an asterisk. End quote. There's not going to get they're not going to get the respect. What if a team that's not really in the mix mix of things all of a sudden wins with a new playoff format? Nobody is going to respect that. So scrap it. Worry about the safety of the fans and the people. Come back next year. End quote. And I'm very, very glad Shaq said that because it's illustrating my point. Because there's been a lot, because LeBron James went on Twitter a couple of days ago and pretty much said on Twitter he believes that the season should be restarted as soon as it's safe to continue. Okay, and I'm very glad that Shaquille O'Neal has came out and basically pushed back against that idea that the entire season should be continued. Because listen, everybody knows at this particular point right now that this coronavirus pandemic is not going anywhere for pretty much for a while. All right, it's been nearly 2 months since the pandemic started. That pretty much scraped out the entire season, and then within the same week, I think it was the week after that, the NCAA it basically canceled the entire 2020 tournament, men's basketball tournament and women's too. All right, and there's no listen, with each passing day that it keeps going on, there's no point of continuing the season. When even after when the NBA allowed teams to open up their facilities, I've heard that Mark Cuban didn't even open up his facilities. Okay, now that's really a big problem there because listen, if the NBA gets another case of players getting the coronavirus, this is going to be a liability issue that's going to hurt the league for a while. Because that's it right now, as far as this is going, the NBA is losing at least $1 billion of revenue and money right now. Okay. And they get most of their money off of sponsorships, advertisement, and through the massive TV contract. They have to succeed a level portion of games for them to receive the money from their TV networks. All right. And so this is becoming more and more of a problem. And I think, in my perspective, this is going to take a long time for the league to get a lot of that money back. All right. And the thing is, though, too, is these players are not on board with this because even after LeBron posted out that tweet that there's no reason for the season to be canceled, I've not seen many of the players around the league, backing up LeBron James. And Shaquille O'Neal respects LeBron James. I think he's good friends with LeBron. So for Shaq to basically respond, to that kind of narrative, it really much illustrates how the league and most of the people working in the league feel about the situation. Even executives and even managers or even agents for that matter feel that the NBA is not doing a good job of updating on information about what's going on too. Now, I've also read too that through Adrian Wojnarowski that the NBA held a league-wide conference on Friday and said that the league should resume play throughout the season with no fans in attendance. And also Silver said that the decision will whether not to restart the season does not come in May, and it could be put off until mid-June. All right. And Silver even pretty much said that if the season does resume, it should be safer in a single location or two to start, which is really, really, listen, I don't understand why the league right now at this particular point is so content on resuming the season. Even if even if they finish out the year with some sort of weird playoff format where they decide an NBA champion, there's going to be a major asterisk to it. Case in point, the 1999 San Antonio Spurs. All right, because remember, the NBA had a lengthy lockout during the 98-99 season when the players were getting a lot of money, these big contracts from the owners. All right. And they had at least an opt-out clause in that original CBA contract after the during the 95-96 negotiations that pretty much said that the players are making more money than than what they should, then the original CBA agreement has to be opened up and revised again. And that's what happened. All right. So unfortunately, the league had to play 50 games that year. All right. And pretty much it was basically a shortened year. And even though the San Antonio Spurs went on to win the title, fair and square, people saw that title as a major asterisk because the league was basically shortened out entirely. And so this is much more of a significant thing at this particular point in time. I don't understand why you continuously try to preserve a season when nobody's even thinking about basketball at the moment. I'm not. All right. Because there's too many people dying out here throughout this whole coronavirus pandemic. And another thing, though, too, I was scoping around Twitter and trying to see what these people are said about the LeBron James Twitter. There was a good section of people that was basically defending what LeBron said, or just basically saying like, "Man, they just trying to deny you from getting your fourth championship, King. Shake my head, that kind of thing." I'm like, you guys are idiots. You guys are literally idiots, and you're basically like pests that need to be squashed on because you really do not care about what's going on around your world. You only care about what's going on in an actual sport. Nobody cares about sports at the moment. Listen, we don't even Major League Baseball should be we should be into Major League Baseball at this particular point in time. The season should have been started back in March, and we should be into the early portions of the baseball season, but we're not because of the risk of this whole coronavirus pandemic. Okay, so I'm really glad that Shaquille O'Neal has stepped up and pretty much said about the sentiments of what I'm sure a lot of other players have been thinking about. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that LeBron James is getting blasted about this. Now, again, this has had nothing to do about what LeBron James personally is. It's based about the narrative about what he said on Twitter. All right. But at the end of the day, LeBron is wrong about this, and the league is wrong about this. And the bottom line is this: if they decide to resume basketball, I'm going to personally say it. I'm not even going to bother watching it because it's not going to mean anything, and it's going to be a huge asterisk to this because nobody's going to take that champion seriously. They're not, because of the fact of the matter is it was basically off of a shortened year that was basically delayed due to a huge health pandemic. All right, so that's just my 2 cents on the situation, and I believe Shaq is right about what he said, and you know what I mean. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think that Shaq is right about what he said about the scraping out the entire NBA season, or do you believe you have a different opinion? But let me know what you guys think.